Back here in Baltimore, just an amazing scene and chance of USA. Went on for a good minute here. Jim Nantz along with Phil Simms as the Ravens and Steelers get set. Steelers won the coin toss and deferred, so we'll see Flacco and company on the field first. What are you expecting, though, out of this crowd here today?
Well, you know, the uncertainty that the Ravens have on the offensive line and wide receivers, crowd noise is going to help their team and maybe even things out. And then psychologically, they're wearing the white jersey. They're thinking, this really makes a difference here today.
Of course, these two met last season on 3 occasions, with the Steelers coming back in the divisional round from 2 touchdowns down to eliminate Baltimore on their way then to beating the Jets the following week in the AFC Championship, only to be knocked off down in Dallas in the Super Bowl by the Green Bay Packers. So Ladarius Webb is going to be the return man for the Ravens. Sweesom set to kick it from the 35. Changed this year, moved up 5 yards. We expect a lot of this. Oh, well, let's see. Webb from 7 yards deep says, I'll go ahead and take a crack at it. He's across the 20 and able to maneuver near the 30. Give him 38 yards on the return, but there is a flag. Jason Worlds on the hit. Tony Corrente is the official here.
Kicking team number 88. Baltimore has exercised the option of accepting the penalty at the end of the run. First down.
So let's bring out Joe Flacco, who has 4 postseason road wins. No NFL quarterback has ever had more road victories in playoff action than Joe Flacco. No one more. And he'll be directing this attack. But the big question coming into this game, the offensive line. They have not had a chance to gel. McKinney coming over after being let go by Minnesota, signed late August, and a trade made also over the summer for Lee Evans, the speedster who was up in Buffalo and hauled in 43 touchdowns in his career as a Bill. So the additional step off puts the football at the 34, and the first play from scrimmage of the year is Ray Rice taken off. Rice inside the 50, inside the 40, and twisted down at the 30-yard line by Lawrence Timmons. And Bryant McKinnie gets signed. He comes in, throws the key block for 36.
That's what this play was all about. Get Bryant McKinnie, number 78, into the flow of the game, gets up on the linebacker, gets James Ferrier. And field position to start with, so critical in these matchups always. And then look at the hole Ray Rice runs into against the Steeler defense that a lot of teams don't even try to run against because they realize, well, we can't get anything done.
Well, last year they gave up only 62 yards rushing a game. It was the best in years in the league since the Ravens of 2000. They go ground again, and it's Rice this time for about 3. Let's set that Steeler defense again. Number 1 in so many categories last year, including sacks, most in the league. And they've got Aaron Smith healthy. He was out for the Super Bowl and much of the season with torn triceps. And then you got Harrison, who's had 2 back surgeries since the Super Bowl, the former NFL Defensive Player of the Year. And Polamalu, fresh off a new deal, a new 4-year contract inked just yesterday. So from the 27 of the Steelers, Flacco's first throw of the year toward the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown. Anquan Boldin.
Just what John Harbaugh texted to his quarterback Joe Flacco Thursday night when he saw throws by Aaron Rodgers. Says, did you see that? When they're running down the field and they're covered, just stick it in there. And Anquan Boldin did an awesome job of hand fighting and getting in position to make the catch.
Flacco's first pass of the season goes for a 27-yard touchdown as Boldin able to pin it against the hip. Cam Cameron with some good play calling right there. 66 yards in only 92 seconds, and Cundiff adds the extra point. Well, Joe Flacco, what a start. They drive it right down in a hurry. A quick 7 on the Steelers. Took 3 plays. That's it. Pittsburgh last year gave up hardly any big plays. Fewest in the league. They measure that category by 20-plus yard give-ups. They gave up 2 plus 20 on that very drive, including the touchdown. Long Rice run really set the standard. Here's a run out by Antonio Brown, who's going to circle back to the middle and able to bounce off a hit. And again, taken out of bounds at the 26. And there's a late flag thrown into the pile. Brendan Anyan Badejo was in on the hit.
So many things about these kickoff returns.
Personal foul, horse collar tackle on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Horse collar tackle. Ian Badejo, you got his hand into the jersey, and when you pull the runner down from behind with your hand in his jersey or a hook in the shoulder pads, that is horse collar, so that's a great call. Not only that, it's out of bounds too.
By the way, the Ravens' first-round pick, Jimmy Smith, limping off the field after the special teams collision that he incurred. A lot of expectations for Jimmy Smith, and he hobbled off with help. So that puts the Steelers now at the 42. Off the 15-yard penalty. 5 defensive backs in for the Ravens, and the officials bring it to a halt.
The ball is being readjusted in order to put it after the 15-yard penalty in the proper spot. First down.
Well, Ben Roethlisberger, this is his 100th game appearance in his career. His first ever appearance was right here in Baltimore, week 2, back in 2004. Quick jump by Suggs, no flag, and it's Mendenhall weaving all the way down to the Ravens 49, gains 9.
Well, Jim, let's go back and look at the touchdown. Joe Flacco is going to read the safety. The safety comes over here. Why? Here's Lee Evans, the one-on-one, the top of the screen. So as Joe Flacco drops back, he's reading Anquan Bolden, and when you're even, as John Harbaugh says, you're leaving. So you got to read it that way, make the throw. Excellent call and execution by the Ravens.
Second down and 1. Mendenhall again. He's got the first down plus an extra yard. Well, that Steeler offensive line, don't forget Pouncey, he missed the Super Bowl with that ankle sprain suffered in the AFC Championship. Legursky, who took over for him, at right guard. And you got Mike Wallace going into his 3rd year, and what a season he had back in 2010, over 1,000 yards.
Well, the Steelers, like the Ravens, they want to keep the defense off balance. And why do you want that? It's not an overused phrase. Crowd noise here, you want to try to keep it out. And of course, you got to respect the pass rush by the Ravens.
It's a first down from the Baltimore 47. Out of the gun, and it's Roethlisberger throwing it away. And that pressure was coming in by the likes of Jarrett Johnson. That Ravens defense, so many familiar names for you. Natam, most will tell you, as good as it gets as a defensive interior lineman. Suggs has always played so well against Pittsburgh, and Lewis, now in his 16th year, coming up another Pro Bowl year, his 12th. It's Ed Reed's birthday today. There's their new defensive coordinator in Baltimore, Chuck Pagano. Second down and 10. Quick slant. Wallace, and he's hit by Webb at the 44. Boy, Reed was coming up the blitz. Ben got it away just in time, and it gains 4.
Well, blitzing is always about timing. And here comes Ed Reed. He timed it perfect, so it catches the Steelers. We have to throw a side adjust. And one thing about Chuck Pagano, the new defensive coordinator, what did John Harbaugh says? He's like me. He's crazy. We want to be aggressive. So, talking about being aggressive and doing it in games, a lot of times that's 2 different things.
I think he actually said he's like me, but even crazier.
Even crazier.
Even crazier.
Okay.
And we'll see if his defense can come up with a play here. It's 3rd and 6 for Pittsburgh. From the 44. Good time. Roethlisberger fires it, and it's knocked away. Knocked away by Kerry Williams, and you've said all week this kid's a good-looking prospect.
Boy, he really showed well in all preseason games, Kerry Williams. They are really excited about him, and here's the big thing. When you hear the head coach going, hey, maybe finally we can knock some passes down in the secondary, Kerry Williams, high on, of course, Jimmy Smith, the first-round draft pick.
Daniel Sepulveda in to punt it off the Greg Warren snap, and Webb runs away from it, bounces in. Touchback out to the 20. Just a net of 23 yards with that punt, and the Ravens offense back on the field after the quick strike in 3 plays. The first time they had it.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. The new 70-inch class LCD TV from Sharp. And by the award-winning 2012 Fiat 500. Learn more at fiatusa.com.
Jim Nantz and Phil Simms back here in Baltimore, and the Ravens, their second possession. And they begin this one also with a Rice carry to the left side behind McKinney. And this one picks up 5. Again, the first drive of the game, 36 yards by Rice to open it. Then he had a 4-yard carry, and then there was the touchdown throw. McFadden was on the coverage. Bolden able to pick it off his right hip.
Well, when you look out there, wide receivers always go by this rule. The most aggressive person always wins. And Anquan Bolden was the most aggressive.
On 2nd and 5, and that's Bolden slashing across out to the 41 for a first. Again, working on McFadden, and it picks up 16.
One thing, now you got the Steelers. They're up there thinking run, because even that run before, Jim, the offensive line just pushed the Steelers' defensive line back, and Ray Rice got those yards. So they send Troy Polamalu up near the offensive line of scrimmage. Those slant plays inside are wide open because the underneath coverage is not there.
Well, they take Bolden out. They bring in Dennis Pitta.
That could mean pass.
And that's Pitta in motion. They're going to go run instead, and it's Rice with a flag down. A flag down as Rice took it to the 45. Picked up 4. Casey Hampton on the hit. See Vontae Leach, who came over from Houston, a fullback for the Ravens. He's going to be a difference maker.
Holding, offense number 66, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
It's called on Ben Grubbs, but what about this offensive line? Man, they have made some moves here, shifting players around.
It really is incredible. Go into your opening game of the year. They've had a chance to practice this week. Brian McKinney coming in new. Michael Orr, the left tackle, going to right tackle. The right tackle, Marshall Yonda, switching down. Matt Burt did not play in the preseason. Marshall Yonda played very little. Brian McKinney played none. So, boy, they've already exceeded expectations just after the first job, Jim.
Yeah. Wait in!
Timeout call.
Baltimore, this is their first.
So timeout Ravens. 7-0 Baltimore over Pittsburgh.
You know what, it's very special for me being that I'm from New York, and I can remember 9/11 like it was yesterday, being in high school, changing periods of class and watching the TV and watching that next plane go into the building, and not just watching it, being 20 minutes from New York City. It's a day where you remember, for the rest of your life.
Ray Rice remembering 9/11. He lines up behind his quarterback, Joe Flacco, who was a junior in high school, in an English class when he first heard the news. And play action fake. Flacco here on 1st and 20. Goes to Rice. And pretty well covered up there by Harrison and company. Holds him to 1.
Well, that was a screen play. And what did Mike Tomlin say last night to us about when we get off the bus? If our guys are not looking for screens, draws, and quick passes, then, only Mike Tomlin has a way of saying it so clear and succinct. And that was a good example. The last time they played in the playoffs, the Ravens just had an awesome day in the first half throwing screens against the Steelers. They were ready for that one.
Ricky Williams has come into the backfield. He's to the right side of Flacco. Second down and 19. Flacco going down the field, and what a catch at the 33-yard line. That's Ed Dickson. There is a flag down back in the area where Flacco threw it.
Holding offense. Number 78. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Going to call McKinney on a hold of James Harrison.
Well, it's a shame. I didn't see the hold, but I just say what a throw and catch. 78, Bryant McKinney, here he is, top of the screen. Boy, he does. I can see it's a takedown, but Bryant McKinney's in good position here. James Harrison is leaning back. He just takes advantage of it and takes him down. But what a throw, what a catch. It's something we talked about. The Ravens want to be one of those teams. Throw it in there. And if you're not doing that in the league right now, then you're falling behind in the passing game.
Would have been good for 34 yards.
And there's a good example. Ed Dickson, look out for him today.
Yep. Todd Heap, one of those who was let go after the season. A lot of changes. They've gone young and they've looked for speed. Now with 2nd and 29, it was Ricky Williams with his first.
Well, let me just clarify. I thought it was a bad call. I thought James Harrison got in position trying to get around the edge where he got caught, and Bryant McKinney took advantage of it. Now, Bryant McKinney, we met him on Friday. Pretty big guy.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
It was really like, oh, wow, you size 18 shoes when he walks in the room. But he even looks, when you look really big on an NFL field, then you're a big man.
Well, he showed up at Minnesota close to 400 pounds, and they cut him before he even got him on the practice field. Here's a little screen pass, and that's that's Ed Dickson. Ed Dickson, and I was talking about some of the changes with the Ravens on that offensive side. Todd Heap is gone, McGahee is gone, Derek Mason no longer there.
Bushman-Zada's gone.
Yeah, LaRon McClain.
Running backs, both running backs. But that little screen there, that's a big deal because it changes field position. And when these teams play, when they play each other, field position is a big deal. Going 50 yards for a touchdown instead of 80, well, against any team, but especially defenses like this.
Sam Cook is in. One of the best in the league. Shows it right here. A boomer. That got too much of it. It lands in the end zone. 62 yards it flew.
It's hot.
And it'll come out to the 20. It is hot and muggy and possible showers on the way here.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Outback Steakhouse. It's always fresh in the Outback. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
A reminder to watch Fantasy Football Today for game time player news, inactive updates to help set your lineup. Chat with the experts every Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern. CBSSports.com/live. 76, but very muggy, and there's a 40% chance of rain before it's over. From the 20. And a quick toss. That's Ward for about 3. Hines Ward now in his 14th year.
Well, the Steelers, they're no different than the Ravens. Even their offense is as good as we perceive it, and it is good with their quarterback. But they have to change what they do all the time because they know they have to keep the Ravens defense off balance and most of all respect it. And you respect it by different formations and throwing quick passes, just trying to find ways to get it done and not have to face the pass rush.
Ward now 8 alone all time. He came into the season tied all-time receptions with Randy Moss. Emmanuel Sanders into the lineup. Here's another quick throw. This one's to Wallace, and that's going to pick up a first down out at the 32. Gain of 9. How about a little Phil Simms philosophy?
Well, let's do this for Pittsburgh today. They got a Terrell Suggs on the outside. Look at that position. That is what defensive linemen, they dream of. It can drive the offensive lineman back, and he's big enough, fast enough, strong enough to do it all. And Terrell Suggs, I know we talk about him a lot. It's not enough. Very underrated outside pass rush player in the NFL.
Coming off his 4th Pro Bowl, he sacked Roethlisberger 3 times in the divisional game. And it's Mendenhall dragging bodies with him, including Natai, after a run of about 3. And this is the second time now this kind of thing has broken out. That's Willie Colon of the Steelers, and the official falls. Gary Cavaletto, the field judge, knocked down.
Good job by the officials, though. This is an emotional game between these two teams always, so you have to give a little out there. Well, there's a lot of pushing there. But the last time they played, Hines Ward and Ed Reed got in a fight the very first play of the game.
That was Colon and Lewis. 2nd down and 7. And these short throws, they're there for him.
Yeah,
it's Wallace for gain of 10.
Respect the speed on the outside in Mike Wallace. It is real, and it comes into play all the time. You see the space underneath. Ben Roethlisberger, a staple of the Steelers offense from the time Bill Cowher took over his first year. When the corners are off, the sideline is there, you throw it in rhythm, and Roethlisberger is very good at it.
Spreads them out, empties the backfield. 3 minutes and change to go in this first quarter. Roethlisberger loses the football, and it's recovered by the Ravens. Suggs knocked it out.
What a move, so fast, so succinct, and this is a little bit new for the Ravens. Usually you see this move from the other side. Suggs would be coming from the quarterback's left, but that time he came from the right. It was a good bait. He waits to the last second, and Marquise Pouncey, nobody's sitting there waiting for the defender to come inside. They all go against Natai, who's next to him.
Natai with the recovery. Ravens set up at the Pittsburgh 37.
Well, that's great timing. You got to be a tremendous athlete to sense the time to do it and then take advantage of it by being explosive enough.
No one has sacked Roethlisberger more than Suggs, and he's got him already once. That sets up this play, and it's open. It's Pitta down to the 9-yard line. Second-year tight end out of Brigham Young University. Goes for 29.
Well, what they're doing, they're using their tight ends a little bit like New England. There's the clear out by Lee Evans on the top of the screen, and they bring the tight ends like wide receivers underneath and deep. You're going to see Pitta and Ed Dixon be a big part of the passing game for the Ravens today.
So 1st and goal to go from the 8. Rice weaving and scooting. Lost the football and falls on it. Was he down first? They ruled touchdown on the field.
Could have been a fumble because he wasn't knocked to the ground, Jim. So the ground can cause a fumble if you're not forced to it.
This might be examined to see if he was down first. They may want to look at this.
Well, you can.
The runner was not ruled down by contact. Therefore, he's remained alive when he fumbled the football. Baltimore touchdown.
A knee did go down. It looked like to me is about a yard short.
Yeah, but it has to be contact that makes him go down, though, Jim.
So, well, I saw contact.
You did. There it is, the foot. He did hit his foot that made him stumble. Oh. That will be replayed upstairs.
Of course, they're going to review every touchdown this year.
That's right.
Teams don't have to expend one of their challenges, and this one will be under review.
Well, what happens, Jim? I know the coaches like this new rule.
The review is to determine whether or not the runner was down by contact.
So we'll take a timeout as Tony Carante gets another look at this right here. You'll see as Rice is slashing toward the end zone, Clark and Ferrier got a hand on him.
Hampton knocks him down.
And the knee will hit. The ball is not crossing the plane.
Yeah, he's short.
After reviewing the play, the runner was down by contact at the 1-yard line. The ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. It will be second down and goal to go at the 1. With the game clock operator, please start the game clock on my signal.
You know, Jim, just to talk about the play, though, even if the other guys did not touch him, he still will be down at the 1 because what made him, the contact was Casey Hampton, made him stumble and fall.
Haloti Ngata has come in on the offensive side for the Ravens. Leach, the fullback. A fake to Rice, the throw, and it is Leach. And he is stopped for no gain. Wow, Clark and Foot. What a collision.
Yeah, it was. What reaction by the Steelers. You're in a position like this. They've been running it. How you can play it this way, that shows you how disciplined they can be. How about those hits? To hit Vontae Leach, who's a big, powerful fullback, to stop him from gaining another 6 inches.
3rd and goal from just inside the 1. And it's Rice, and he's in for the touchdown. Not taking that one back.
What a start for the Ravens. You know, not only the offensive line, what we talked about, again, you win it up front. Look at the block. Marshall Yanda got Aaron Smith and took him backwards, created the running lane. It's like a domino effect. It pushes everybody down, and Ray Rice, he showed you he's strong.
Cundiff for the extra point. And it's 14-0, just like in the divisional playoff game. Baltimore is up by 14.
Ravens would do, Jim, if they had their offensive line here.
Yeah.
Coach here. I mean, my gosh.
If they had a chance to gel, play a few preseason games together. But
it just shows you, pros, it's amazing. No offseason, how quick and talented they all are. They can adjust and come together in such short periods.
Well, Joe Flacco, we talked to him about, was there any concern about that offensive line? In fact, they had not worked together all preseason. He said, no, actually, not at all. I'm really happy about it, actually. Talking to Cam Cameron right there. They've had a 3-play touchdown drive and a 4-play touchdown drive after the strip sack by Terrell Suggs. This one. Now that's 9 yards deep, and it's coming out. And that's Brown. What a good decision as he takes it to the 33. Never would have guessed it. 41-yard return.
Well, Jim, let's go back and look at this touchdown. I want you to watch Marshall Yanda, the right guard, blocking on Aaron Smith, and then Vontae Leach just goes in there and just rips up the pile. As you look at it, again, watch Marshall Yanda, the right guard, drives him back. Big hole for Ray Rice to run into.
Todd Washington is the offensive line coach for the first 2 games as Andy Moeller suspended by the league for violation of the league's personal conduct policy. And that's Mendenhall getting outside. Mendenhall to the 50 and down to the 44-yard line of the Ravens. Hines Ward helped release him. He goes for 22.
The number 1 key for the Ravens defense today is set the edge. Don't let him get outside, but look at the lane. You had Terrell Suggs coming so wide that there was really no way, if that run came to the right side, that they were going to have somebody there to make the tackle. Don't let Rashard Mendenhall get outside. He breaks tackles, and he's fast.
Mendenhall, who had a turbulent offseason, his own doing. We'll talk about that shortly. It's 1st and 10. At the 45, 3-step drop and a completion, and carrying bodies with him is Heath Miller. He takes Webb with him all the way down for 15 yards to about the 30.
Interesting matchup. You know, the formation, they're trying to make you think run. They get, even though they got a corner out there. Ravens playing safe. And Heath Miller just goes unnoticed year after year. Makes big catches, tremendous blocker. good route runner, deceptively fast. In other words, he's the perfect tight end.
Final minute, first quarter. All Ravens. This is Redmond. Back up to Mendenhall. Comes in, picks up 8. That might be the last play of the quarter. Well, in the 3 matchups last year between these two, the team that led after 1 quarter lost the game all 3 times. It is, you can see, you've been saying this one's going to be really testing the endurance and all the training.
Exactly, it is right now. Hot day.
You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Made in America. Made in America. Made in America. Made in America.
Second quarter begins here in Baltimore with the Steelers driving. Jim Nantz, Bill Sims on the scene here. Second, call it 3 from the 22. They go inside with Mendenhall tiptoeing around some traffic and picking up the first. Gain 5. There wasn't a whole lot there. Good piece of running.
Well, you wonder, the hot, the sun, the humidity, and none of the players had tremendous repetitions during the preseason. I would think fatigue would be a factor. And where would we see it? Most likely we'd see it most with defensive linemen because they're just so big. Of course, the Steelers wearing black jerseys, not the greatest thing on a day like today either.
Quit.
Got a new set of downs at the 18. Go back to Mendenhall. Takes it inside the 10. And again, after the whistle, this time Jonathan Scott and a whole lot of Raven defenders mixing it up.
Well, that's where that last play, that's where you take advantage of Antonio Brown. The Ravens defense knows, look out. He's the reverse runner, stuff like he came in motion to run a reverse. When they fake it to him, it freezes the defense. And that freezing of the defense is just enough to hand it to Mendenhall where he can cut it back in there and get easy yards.
It's a second down and 2. Ball set at the 9-yard line. Mendenhall getting the work. This time taken down for a loss.
Ray Lewis.
Lewis in there in a hurry. Nata and Zipikowski helping out. And again away from the ball. It's Hines Ward. He's back in the end zone.
He's warning Hines Ward right this time. Ray Lewis. Here we go, down the field blocking against Pollard.
Yep.
That's a pretty good fist fight right there going on. They're grabbing. And of course, Pollard, we watched him in practice. That's a big man. He makes his living being tough.
3rd and 3. And flags are down everywhere. Boy, you look at the Steelers, they had a 2nd and a short 2. And now it's going to be 3rd and 8.
Ray Lewis made that tackle, read the play, knowledge, experience. He took advantage of it. And then there you go, Jim. We said early, right before the game, crowd noise. Of course, it's a factor. Communication is tough.
Ward and Wallace to the right. Brown to the left. Across the middle they go. That's right at the first down yardage. Sanders with the catch. Ran into his own teammate.
Well, he did. What a job by the Steelers. That was just like they just mushed everything inside. And Roethlisberger, how about that throwing motion?
Yeah.
Dips down, threw around him. And I think the tackle was made by the Steelers.
And that play picks up enough for a first. Chuck Pagano's defense gives up the yardage needed. Down to the 8. Mendenhall, the single back. And a timeout called by Pittsburgh. First and goal to go. Steelers down 14-0. Well, the Ravens are on top here, 14-0. But the Steelers have a first and goal to go. Drive that began with a 41-yard kick return by Brown. It's Mendenhall. He has to jump to the outside, and he's met again by a couple of Ravens, including Ed Reed and Corey Redding.
A lot of good design plays down inside by the Steelers, but this is not one of them. They're trying to make you think they're going to their right, but it's a slow developing play. And again, Terrell Suggs in the backfield. Immediately the play is destroyed because he makes the running back make a move 4 or 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. They recognize the play. They get up and make the tackle.
Dropped them for a 3-yard loss. Mendenhall shifts out of the backfield on second and goal from the 11. Roethlisberger, pass was deflected at the line. And again, Suggs was breaking through rather early. So was Pernell McPhee, the rookie out of Mississippi State.
Yeah, when you inside, the ball is tipped, so there cannot be illegal contact. Well, now you can just tackle the receivers if you once it's tipped. But Ben Roethlisberger feels the pressure of the pass rush. Knows he has to get rid of it quick.
Faces third and goal. Got time. Back of the end zone. Open man. Touchdown. Emmanuel Sanders. With a line protected him this time.
Well, sure they did. They protected him because there's only 3 guys rushing. 5 guys in the back, the offensive line protecting, and it's just too long, too hard for the secondary to stay disciplined and to cover. When you a veteran quarterback with a good scheme, 3-man rush, look out.
Suggs was coming in early, but then he got pushed to the outside by Jonathan Scott. So the Steelers complete that drive. Took some time in a goal-to-go situation, but connect on third and goal from the 11. Emmanuel Sanders hauls in the touchdown, the first of the season for the Steelers.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by DirecTV. This season, NFL Sunday Ticket is included when you switch. Cadillac. And by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Tuesdays this fall on CBS. One new drama to remember. Unforgettable premieres on September 20th, only CBS. And not to be forgotten, Sanders on that drive converted 2 third downs in the red zone. The one that got him a goal to go at the 8. And he bumped into Hines Ward, but had enough for the first, and then scores the touchdown on third down play.
Well, what did Ben Roethlisberger say? He says he has a chance to be special, big time from the slot because he can do all the routes.
And what did you say on Fantasy Football Today on CBSSports.com? Your sleeper pick was Emmanuel Sanders to have a big game.
How about that? But here it is. The Ravens play it, the touchdown, they play it perfect. But here's the corner. He's going to take the outside route, but it takes so much time he breaks back in. So let's watch Ben Roethlisberger. As he's going, look, the defense is perfect. They're all in position, but the break back, the extra time allows Sanders to go along the back end zone line for the touchdown. So look at all the time he had, way too much time. I said it, 3-man rush. The Saints did it against Aaron Rodgers, 5 plays. In the first half, he hit all 5 passes.
Flacco, sideline route over the head of Bolden. Has now 9 consecutive matchups, regular and postseason. Roethlisberger has thrown at least 1 touchdown against the Ravens. By the way, the Ravens come out for this series and they open up with Ricky Williams in the backfield.
Well, I think they're very happy having Ricky Williams here. Cam Cameron knew him from Miami. And Ricky Williams, tough runner. We know that. Still has speed for all the years he's been in the NFL, but also excellent at picking up the blitzes. Knows the scheme very well.
That last throw was the first incompletion for Flacco. He's got a connection this time with Pittup. It goes out of bounds at the 35. It's a 15-yard gain.
I think we've already seen the changing of this football team and the offense. I know it's early, but the tight ends coming across, Dennis Pitta. We saw Ed Dixon. He's part of it going down the field. And now you understand why they let Todd Heap go away. Young and fast,
and
both of these tight ends.
And they talked about trying to upgrade the speed. We haven't even seen Lee Evans yet, who's lined up far to the right on first down and 10. And that is Williams fighting to get back to the line of scrimmage. We talked about that offensive line and how they had to move things around. Orr was the left tackle last year.
Look at last year's starting lineup there.
Yanda, who was the right tackle, now moves to right guard. Boy, he played well at right tackle too.
Yeah, he did. And then, the thing to remember is just the lack of reps they had in preseason. A couple of them, none. No reps.
Yeah, Matt Burke, the center, didn't play a single snap. He, trying to heal a knee injury. Second down and 10. There's Dixon. And that's Harrison grabbing him from behind, but it's marked about 2 yards shy of a first.
Well, that was a really good job. I saw Charlie Casserly on the pregame show talking about the feet of Joe Flacco. That time, he's in position. The play was designed to go to the right. He looked at 1 and 2. Good coverage. He turned those feet, got in position. I know it was a short throw, but it was right on target. Watch Flacco real quick as he goes. Looking to the right. Looking to the right. Now watch him switch the body. Excellent. Gets in position to make an accurate throw.
He's in the shotgun here on third down and 2. Comes the blitz. Got it away down in the area of Lee Evans. He just had to unload it. Tight coverage by Ike Taylor.
Yeah, but Lee Evans, if you're going to throw these kind of throws, you have to, the blitz comes. Joe Flacco has enough time, but you have to read it as a wide receiver. The defensive back is even with me. The quarterback sees it. He might throw it where you got to turn and catch it. Lee Evans did not recognize it.
Cook's first punt traveled 62 yards, but it was a touchback. He's an inside the 10 specialist. He's not going to make it that far. Coming up, fair catch signal. And it is made by Antonio Brown. 30-yard punt this time. Tomlin's offense coming back on the field after driving it last time for a touchdown to Sanders. And we're back here with the Steelers. Possession at their own 28. Isaac Redmond set up behind Roethlisberger. They fake to him. Looking screen, and he has to unload it, and almost picked off. You just knew Ed Reed was going to be honing in on that football. Almost got there. It was Suggs applying the pressure.
Well, his job is to stay back, Ed Reed. So Suggs once again reads the play, gets in there too quick. But he's watching the quarterback, so he's going to have a chance to react to the throw. And the throw, Roethlisberger lucky. It's so bad, Ed Reed can't get there to get the interception.
Ed Reed, who was out the first 6 games of last season on the physically unable to perform list, yet came back and led the league in picks, playing only 10 games. He had 8 interceptions. Second and 10. Quick throw, Brown. Players all over him right away. Right by his feet. Chris Carr, Kerry Williams combined on the hit. Loss of a yard.
Jim, John Harbaugh said it to us. We got to get faster. I know he was really talking about his offense. The tight ends, we see it, bringing in Lee Evans. But also, I'm watching the corners and how they're playing. They're faster. They're more aggressive. That is a big part of any defense, especially these two. Fast defenders cause turnovers.
They had some big conversions the last time they had it on third down. They scored on a 3rd and goal from the 11. They need 11 this time. Pass incomplete. Kerry Williams again on the coverage. Antonio Brown was the target. 3 plays and a punt for Pittsburgh.
I like what the Ravens did that time. They rushed 3, but they had a 4th rusher, and it's right here. Kruger watching. He's watching the quarterback in case he breaks out. So get the 4-man rush, but if Roethlisberger moves, be there to tackle him. Don't give him that extra time.
Sepulveda into punt to Webb. And the Ravens were in on the punter in a hurry. Webb running away from it. And it's downed. Monday at the 15, downs it. 57-yard beauty by Sepulveda. 14-7 Baltimore.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Allstate. Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. And by the Miller Lite aluminum pint. 4 more ounces of that great Pilsner taste.
Hey fans, the NFL is holding a special auction to benefit 9/11 charities. Autographed game-worn jerseys from today's games, including the game balls and other unique NFL items, auctioned to raise money for Tuesday's Children and My Good Deed. Visit NFL.com/auction today to bid. Rice returns to the backfield. James Ferrier is out at the start of this series. Larry Foote replacing him at linebacker for Pittsburgh. And it's Rice cutting back to the right side and room. Out for about 9 yards. McFadden tripped him up. He almost got away from McFadden. Had he, there was some open field ahead.
Well, it's a blitz from the offensive right side. So when the run started to the left, they over pursued, and Ray Rice, look at this. They're over pursuing. He cuts back in there. That is great vision. And again, nice surge by the up front people. Matt Burke, the tight end. The center, good block.
And pass incomplete. And no flag. It was close. It was Lee Evans.
Really? It was close.
Throwing to.
Lee Evans looked like, Ike Taylor was tackling before the ball was even snapped.
It definitely looked like that.
Here to the right side. Oh yeah, contact. Contact happened before the ball got there. Not as bad as I thought it was though.
3rd and a yard.
20!
Gonna run for it. They're gonna get it. It's Rice. Stays on his feet. Takes it all the way to the 38. 13-yard run. Broke away from Larry Foote.
Larry Foote in there for James Ferrier, but Jim, I'll say this. Watch Ray Rice. Vontae Leach coming out, gets in the way. That is awesome. But Ray Rice so low, so strong, you got to get down. You got to hit him at his high tackle. When you tackle high, you're going to miss these running backs in the NFL. You got to get down to his knees.
Remember, they gave up only 62 yards rushing a game last year, Pittsburgh. Baltimore's already got 75 here in the second quarter. With a bootleg and looking long, will go underneath instead, and it's Leach. And a fullback out of bounds at the 44, a gain of 6.
Well, my comment right now is this. How's Vontae Leach and Bryant McKinnie doing?
Pretty good pickups, you'd have to say so far.
Wow.
Flag on the far side.
An eligible member of the offense downfield, number 84, was lined up on the line of scrimmage, covered up by a wide receiver.
Sully, what it is, ineligible because they did line up wrong. The formation. Somebody's got to back off the line of scrimmage. It's going to be the top of the screen, I think. So here he is.
That backs up the Ravens to the 33. There's a receiver who had Dixon covered up on that right side.
Right, that's
the line.
That's what makes you ineligible.
The measurement is correct. First step.
Turns out to be a 1st and 15. And the draw to Ricky Williams. That's a good piece of running for about 7. He's the number 3 active rusher in the league, over 9,500 yards in his 11th year. Been quite an odyssey, quite a career. Of course, he stepped back for a few years for a season. Almost moving in on 10,000 yards. Once led the league in rushing back in 02 with over 1,800 yards in a season.
Powerful runner. There's not a lot of movement. Going to try to run into you. And also, like we talked earlier, take the load off of Ray Rice and the block for Joe Flacco.
It's 2nd and 7. Leach picks up a blitzer. Now rolling out. Flacco in trouble, throws it away.
Well, Jim, you said it. In the playoffs, the Steeler linebackers absolutely were running over the running backs. Watch it. A redirect. Timmons. Oh, my gosh. Vontae Leach. That will be, they'll run that one back about 5 times tomorrow. Watch it in the film room.
That was Harbaugh who almost leaped into the air and pulled down the pass.
Wow.
Still on the sidelines laughing about it.
But that was a big reason why the Ravens have struggled against this defense, running backs against the linebackers blocking.
3rd and 7. Open. Dixon, first down to the 44. Tripped up by Clark. Ridden down by Timmons. Picks up 14. And this time it was McKinney who picked up Harrison, trying to crash in on the quarterback.
A lot of good stuff. It's a blitz by the Steelers. What they're hoping, oh, we're going to blitz, everybody's going to stay in and block. But Dixon had a free release. There's James Harrison against Bryant McKinnie. How about Bryant McKinnie? What a start to his career here in Baltimore. Ed Reed and Ray Lewis are on the sideline going, yes.
That's Rice on first down, picking up about 4. Well, you talk about the 2 tackles now. You move over to the right side. You got McKinney on the left. Here's a little spotlight for you.
Well, let's watch Bryant McKinnie. Brett Kiesel seals the end. First play of the game, gets off of the block, reads it properly, gets James Ferrier blocked. As John Harbaugh says, he blocks the sun. He is truly that big.
But you got these 2 tackles now, and really, this sets up, you play them 2 times in the regular season. It's about these Pittsburgh linebackers, you're telling me.
Absolutely.
2nd down, Flacco. Leach took his eyes off of it. He felt Harrison coming in on him.
What they've done, they took Michael Orr, very athletic tackle, from the left side. He goes to the right. That's going to put him against Lamar Woodley. Then you get a massive tackle and Bryant McKinnie, and that is a tremendous matchup against James Harrison. So you could say what you want. They made all these moves. It makes them better against one team, and that is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
They've converted twice on 3rd down on this drive. Torrey Smith, the rookie from Maryland, number 82, is lined up to the left. Easily picking it up the first. Now wide open was Rice. Takes it down to the 15. Left alone. 25 yards.
Boy, new stuff. Off season. Cam Cameron is really in rhythm calling the plays. Dick LeBeau, again, Ray Rice, chips. Nobody has him in coverage. It's a blown assignment by the Pittsburgh defense. Did a secondary, did a safety have him? I don't think so. Nice job by Joe Flacco. I think he was going to Ray Rice the whole time.
Ray Rice, who was only behind Arian Foster and Jamal Charles last year for yards from scrimmage, already over 100 in this first half, rushing and receiving. It's Ricky Williams. Down to the 11. They ran to what's normally the Harrison side, but you know, maybe it's the weather. Worlds is in for him. Harrison looked winded and was at that last play.
Well, don't forget, I saw it in the preseason with James Harrison. 2 surgeries this offseason on his back, his conditioning, and, you know, it's the weather. A big guy leaning on you the whole time, you need a break.
2-minute warning. Ravens on a 5-minute drive. Coming up, the Sprint halftime report. JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, Coach Cowher, all the latest scores and highlights. Coming up on the Sprint halftime report. That was some piece, the Joe Andruzzi piece. NFL Today, produced by Deb Gelman, reported by Leslie Visser. We wish Leslie a happy birthday today. Coming out of the 2-minute warning.
29.
From the 11. I think you're right. Flacco. Rice. He knocked it down, probably wisely so, because Harrison would have pummeled him for a loss.
Yeah, that was a play. They were trying to go down the middle of the field to Ed Dixon, and awesome job by Ryan Clark not going for the little move inside. So it took away what I'm sure the Ravens thought was going to be a pretty easy touchdown.
It's been a 73-yard drive to this point at the 11, including 51 yards rushing and receiving by Ray Rice, who comes out of the backfield, lined up wide to the left on 3rd and 6. Flacco looks right, now goes left. It's Rice diving for it, and he's through the touchdown. Hit the pylon, and he was able to scamper past Lawrence Timmons.
Well, awesome job outside. Ray Rice going in. Oh, it's a little slant in return. Joe Flacco looks right, and then that stalls the defense. Then he looks back. It's too late for Lawrence Timmons. Boy, and again, good job by Flacco. We've seen it quite a few times, going from one side to the other to find the open receiver.
21-7. That touchdown coming on 3rd down. That was the 4th 3rd down conversion of that drive. 3 of them picked up by Rice. 21-7 Baltimore. Does that sound a little familiar?
Yeah, it's just like last year in the playoff game. But you know, Jim, to watch it, here's what happens. Joe Flacco wants to throw it to the right side, but it's not there. He's looking inside to throw it back. So this is his outlet receiver, it's Ray Rice. See him looking right, pumps it, and then Ray Rice separates and able to score with it. You see that a lot now in the NFL. Instead of having the outlet receiver right in front of the quarterback, have it outside where you can see it clearly and make the throw. Bryant McKinnie once again on the outside. Ooh, that was close. James Harrison got the edge that time, but good job by Joe Flacco stepping up just enough.
I'll tell you what was also close is Rice was trying to escape Timmons. He was close to stepping out at the 2. But no word from upstairs to take another look at it.
I am really surprised. Maybe more with the passing than the running.
Watch this. Well, they gave it a go out.
Nope.
That's his 2nd touchdown of the game. Cundiff, we haven't had a touchback yet. Now we do. We had 39 of them last year to Cundiff. How about the new rule? What do you make out of it?
Well, the returns are a lot better than everybody thought. I'll say this. I like it without question. It's about player safety, and I'll give the NFL credit, the coaches, the owners, whatever. They will change rules, not like other sports, to protect the players and to keep them safe. And, you know, Jim, I think as the time goes along, we'll see more and more strategy with kickoffs trying to take advantage of the fact that they've moved it up and they can get down there quicker.
It's interesting. That's the touchback. I said Cundiff last year had 40, but we've already had returns today brought out from 7, 8, and 9 yards deep before that one. Let's see the 2-minute drill here by the Steelers, down to 2 touchdowns. And they got 2 timeouts. And Roethlisberger's got open field and slides for about 9.
Well, the Steelers, they spend most of their practicing red zone offense, 3rd down and 2 minutes. Because that's what the NFL is.
2nd and 1 with 1:20 to go in the half. Up and over and no one there. In the area of Antonio Brown. Again, the Sprint halftime report is coming up. James Brown will take it through the scores, and Dan Shannon Boomer, Coach Cowher will weigh in on all the latest. The first half action here on this opening Sunday coming up on the Sprint halftime report. Rough start for the Colts as the Manning start streak ends today. Andre Johnson has already hauled in a touchdown, and the rookie Tate in for Arian Foster has run one in. We'll have it all coming up. 3rd and 1. Because if they don't convert here, Baltimore will have time to do something. Ball tip, caught, ball's out and knocked away. It goes out of bounds. It was Ed Reed with the big-time collision on Hines Ward.
Well, it's the free runner coming to Ben Roethlisberger's right side, Ladarius Webb. And Ed Reed again, boy, just flying, hitting. Speed is evident. The Ravens playing more aggressive without question.
It was ruled an incompletion as Sepulveda sends it soaring into the sky. Webb signals fair catch, has it at the 23. Now they've got 1 minute and 2 seconds and 2 timeouts. The first half with some big time runs too by Ray Rice. Right out of the box. First play of the game, 36 yards.
Well, when you think of the Ravens this year, it's Ray Rice. He is the most dynamic player on the offensive side, and the other guy, Joe Flacco. And John Harbaugh made no bones about it. It's those two. He wants them to be leaders on the football team, and he expects them to be dynamic on the field.
Rice has run for 1, caught 1. Flacco with a pair of touchdown passes. That one we just saw to Rice. First score of the game was to Bolden. See what they do. They go ground here. And it only picks up a yard.
Not surprised. I think the first half has gone so well for their football team that they're going to be conservative here. You run it. If he breaks a 15-yard run, all right, maybe, well, no question. Then we'll go into our hurry-up offense, but
Cameron,
he's trying to give the crowd a rest too.
2nd down and 9 with 29 seconds. And that was Taylor with the airtight coverage on Lee Evans. He's been held without a catch in his Ravens debut.
That was good coverage. That was the idea of the throw. If it's down, Ike Taylor matching up against Lee Evans. It's there to be had, but it just gets away a little bit from Joe Flacco. If it's down, I think Lee Evans is going to make the catch. The Ravens, I thought they'd run it here. Looks like Ray Rice, position he's in. It's a pass. Now he comes across.
They go run, and he is near the first down.
Yeah, they gave him a first down, so the Steelers, they won't even bother calling a timeout here.
Clock still running inside 10 seconds.
You know, that's not a good first half by the Ravens. It was a great first half.
Well, it was 21-7 at halftime on January the 15th. And it is again today. We'll be back with the Sprint Halftime Report after this message and a word from your local station. And you're watching the NFL on CBS. Back here in Baltimore, Flacco with 2 touchdown passes, 1 to Bolden, 1 to Rice. Rice has also run for a score. Remember, Pittsburgh's only allowed 1 100-yard rusher in the last 50 games. That was Ray Rice. He's on his way to doing that today at 89 yards rushing in that first half.
Yeah, as I look at that first half, I wouldn't want to be a Steeler in the locker room. Mike Tomlin's words might have been sharp.
Yeah,
but also, you know, you look at that first half, the Ravens were emotional, they were physical, and we saw it Friday. Everywhere they go during the whole offseason, what do you think they hear?
They hear about Pittsburgh.
You're going to beat the Steelers this year. That's all they hear. So that emotion has been pent up for a long time. The big question is, can they keep it going here in the second half?
Well, the Steelers will be touching the football first with Antonio Brown, whose 41-yard kick return set up their only scoring drive of that first half. An 11-yard touchdown pass from Roethlisberger to Sanders. Had a touchback going in this direction late in the second quarter. This one's going to be run out. Midway in zone, it's Brown Across the 20 to the 24. 31-yard run back, and Rice 10 carries, 89 yards, and 3 catches for another 38 and a touch. Meanwhile, that Baltimore offense did not have a giveaway, nor did it allow a sack. A Suggs strip sack that was recovered by Nata set up the second touchdown of the game.
Go now, 52. Hey, check, 3 now. Hey.
It's Mendenhall, and man, as he hammered the balls out. It's Nata with the hit, the forced fumble, and the recovery.
What an explosion by Nata. I'm not sure the snap count was messed up because Ben Roethlisberger looked surprised when the football came.
I think he juggled it here. Yep. Took a little while to get a hold of it.
Oh, they mess up the blocking assignments. Legursky lets Nata go, and an opportunity to make a play. The good players, when it's there, they take advantage, and Nata that time.
Boy, could you see the eyes of Mendenhall seeing Nata coming right in on him?
Yeah, he was fumbling. He fumbled it even before he got hit. But you could absolutely tell the mix-up was by the center and quarterback. Reminds you of the playoff game Flacco had with Burke in Pittsburgh.
They fake to Rice. Trying to strike right away to the end zone. And touchdown, Ravens! Ed Dickson. He got past Polamalu.
There's the speed of the offense. When you're physical, look at the space Flacco had, and Ed Dickson. The Steelers recognize it. 84 going to go across and just outruns it. Troy Polamalu's got him, but can't keep up with him. And what touch by Joe Flacco. That is nice. That's almost like the old shoot screen. He fakes, and then goes all the way across the field. What a play.
That's 2 touchdowns in a little more than 2 minutes going back late second quarter. And look at this fake. It's Cook going in for the 2-point conversion. Boy, did they have that one scouted out. No one there to defend it. Tack on another 2. My goodness, 21 seconds into the third quarter. Nata forces the fumble. Mendenhall never had a chance. And then one play later, Flacco to Dickson. Flacco's 3rd touchdown pass and a touchback. He had 3 in 3 games last year, touchdown passes did Flacco against the Steelers. Got 3 already in just a little more than a half. The eyes are something else there.
Mendenhall saw it coming. Braced himself for the hit, could not hold on to the football. And I figure Ed Dickson ran about 40 yards for that completion across the field.
And where did this come from?
Well, because they saw this in the previous 3 extra points, so take advantage of it. You know why? Because somewhere down the road, that might stop somebody from coming full speed and blocking an extra point.
Ball intercepted! Deflected at the line, and Ray Lewis. It lands in his hands at the 15.
Nata.
It's Nata again.
He deflects the pass. Ray Lewis catches it, and then Nata just gets a knockout punch against Jonathan Scott. Oh, Tony Corrente might be hurt too. The interception. Boy, just good recognition of seeing the quick pass by Ben Roethlisberger. Tony Corrente got stepped on by Jonathan Scott. He's limping pretty bad.
Boy, it's been a long time since you've seen anyone do anything close to this to the Steelers. First down at the 17. Will they go for another quick strike? They'll go ground. They'll go Rice. Off the right side, Polamalu wraps him up after a gain of 4.
I think, I know the numbers are good for the Ravens run game today, but what's impressive, Jim, as you watch it, it's the initial contact by their offensive line against the defensive line. And there's a play, the Steelers played well, but they got mushed for about 3 yards, 3.5. That's the difference between a 2-yard gain and 3.5. That's a big deal in a game like this and for a Ravens offense.
Flacco with touchdown passes on 2 of his last 3 throws. He's going up top here, looking for another one, and it's incomplete in the area of Lee Evans.
Boy, Ike Taylor. They're not afraid to match him up. I wasn't sure, even Mike Tomlin wasn't sure they'd match him up. It is one-on-one. The idea is for Lee Evans to just get inside, and then he's going to get a hard throw. But no matter where that football would have been thrown, Ike Taylor had the coverage.
Nata, a hand on 2 turnovers, takeaways in this quarter. Just 1 minute and 7 seconds into the third quarter. 3rd and 6. Rice has been the one who's converted on 3rd down. This time they'll go Dixon, and he is wrapped up just short of the first. About a yard shy, and they're bringing out Leach.
Yeah, they're going to go for it. I'm surprised. So I thought they would surely just kick the football. I would ask for a measurement to see how far it is.
They list Dixon as a tight end. He looks like a wide receiver. So 4th and about, it's about a full yard.
Well, it just shows you the mindset of the Ravens.
Running behind Leach. Rice, push back.
What a play. James Harrison.
Somebody had to step up, and he says, come on, let's go.
Did he ever? Watch him on the outside against the tight end, gets right off the block and stops it cold. Doesn't get pushed back 1 inch. Big play for the Steelers.
Ravens were going for the knockout. Harrison trying to turn the momentum. Ball back to the Steelers.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. KFC Popcorn Chicken. Today tastes so good. And by Geico, where 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Wednesday, September 21st on CBS. New night, new blood. Ted Danson joins CSI season premiere Wednesday, September 21st, only CBS. You said it before they went for it. Should have kicked the field goal.
Well, here's why. I couldn't get it out quick enough. If they kick the field goal, they're up 32-7, 25 points. It takes 4 scores no matter what. 4 times the Steelers would have to score to beat the Ravens team.
They go Mendenhall, and he's able to wiggle. Meets Nata again for a gain of 2. Now he took a pounding to Mendenhall the last time he handled it, but I'm not sure he took any harder hit than the one he had in the offseason. Shortly after bin Laden had been killed by Navy SEALs, Mendenhall posted through social media some remarks that were offensive to many, claiming, among other things, that, quote, we've only heard one side, end quote, about the 9/11 attacks and the bin Laden. He, in short, objected to the celebration that was sweeping the country. And the Steelers say they expect there could be some backlash reaction to Mendenhall playing on the road this season. That's going to be Cologne moving on the right side.
False start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Well, Jim, I'm just going to paraphrase what Art Rooney II said. He just said basically the Steeler organization is very proud of the job our military personnel, what they have done. So I think the social media out there right now, you've got to be careful at all times what you say. And, of course, that's a very inflammatory statement he made to all the victims and the families of 9/11.
2nd and 14, standing at the goal line, and that's Wallace reaching down and grabbing it and picking up a first near the 20. Good play by Wallace for 16.
Today, when we came to the stadium, I said this is like a college crowd. First, everybody's in their Raven purple and black, which is cool. They all came in the stadium. I thought we were in Green Bay a little bit, where the fans get in the stadium to watch warm-ups. And as everybody came on the field, there was a cheer for their guys, and they were booing the Steelers. And this Ravens crowd has stayed into it the whole day.
First down at the 21. It's back to Mendenhall. And he's got 3 before he is swamped. And it's Kerry Williams and others. A gain of 4. And Williams is hobbling.
Oh boy, Rashard Mendenhall. The ball did come loose. Ed Reed and Williams hit him. And that's how you tackle. That's what you see a lot of from these guys. You see they're going low below the waist. Arms are out to wrap the legs up of the runners.
That's the second DB to limp off the field. Jimmy Smith was injured, their first rounder on the opening kickoff. And Wallace turning around, making a good play to get that ball. And Dominique Foxworth picks up 15.
Really a nice job by Ben Roethlisberger. A couple good throws to get the Steelers out from their own end zone. And they're throwing rhythm passes. In other words, he's catching it and letting that football go before the wide receivers come out of the break.
So we were back inside the 10. They've been able to take it now out to the 40. Another first down. All coming after James Harrison stuffed Rice on 4th and a yard inside the 10. And Ward has it, got away from Lewis. And he's tripped up near the 30.
Well, good job, good protection. What happens here, Hines Ward, when they bunch the receivers up, he is the best. When you watch tapes, it's like you go, boy, he never goes full speed. He just kind of, rumbles down the field a little bit, waits for the open space, and then makes the catch.
It's the first pass play for Ben today, over 20 yards. It went for 31.
And they get this bunch, you see to the right, it slows the defense down too.
Mendenhall working middle. In heavy traffic, able to pick up 2. And we got the word now from the Ravens that Jimmy Smith, an ankle sprain on that opening kickoff. They x-rayed it, negative, and questionable to return today. They have plans for him being in the rotation.
Absolutely good news. Jimmy Smith his highlight tape coming out of college was terrific. They believe he has a chance to be Darrelle Revis. Big statement, but it's not out of question either.
It has started to rain here in Baltimore. 2nd down and 7. And a completion and a quick hit by Webb. And it's another throw to Hines Ward. This one for about 8. So he sets up 3rd and 1.
Ravens are putting on a tackling exhibition. Look at that. Again, around the waist, arms out, drive through the receiver. No, like, I'm going for the knockout, going high and missing the tackle.
Third and a long yard. Redmond. Oh, he was hit quickly in the second effort. Appears to be enough for a first.
Well, Isaac Redmond, you know your team, you're ready for games when everybody has a role. And Isaac Redmond is the short yardage back. Pouncey, nothing inside. Oh, Corey Reddy has him in the backfield, but Redmond is big. That's why he's in there, for those 3rd and 1s. So when he gets hit, he can fall forward to get that 1 yard for the first down.
And some nifty footwork by the big man, too. He had people all over his feet early. Redding and others. Picks up the first, slipped away. They fake to Wallace, and Roethlisberger throws, and he's intercepted. Ed Reed has it. Ed Reed again had 8 interceptions last year in 10 games. That was intended for Heath Miller. Ed Reed, what a playmaker. Ravens defense takes it away. First 3 drives of the second half for the Steelers, resulting in 3 turnovers. 4 for the game. From the 10. It's Rice staying low for another 4.
Well, Jim, let's go back and look at that interception. Fake reverse. They want to throw it to Hines Ward coming here out in the flat. Watch Jared Johnson hit Hines Ward and ruin the play. As he comes across, look at that hit. Knocks him down. Ben Roethlisberger has to adjust. It looks like Heath Miller down the field is going to be open, but look at Ed Reed redirect and get the interception. So aggressive defense. If they move, hit them. That's what Jared Johnson did.
Wide open is Bolden at the 25 and out of bounds at the 34. Boy, there was a vicious hit on that play that led to that was an interception by Reed.
Yep, it's not illegal. Behind the line of scrimmage. Oh, and look how Jared Johnson redirected. He wasn't going for the fake. He realized, oh, I know this play. You're going to bring the guy underneath. The play the 49ers made famous under Bill Walsh. Look.
Roethlisberger was the one who brought down Reed. Roethlisberger,
yeah, he knows.
Being picked in this quarter by 2 future Hall of Famers, Lewis and Reed. And Rice squirming, trying to get back to the line of scrimmage.
I thought it was amazing that he made the tackle, Roethlisberger.
Last time he threw an interception was against Baltimore in the regular season last December. Intercepted by Josh Wilson. He got picked twice here in this quarter.
I threw a lot of those in my career where I threw it up and the defender was getting ready to catch it and I went, drop it! You know, and every once in a while they do.
Yeah, like they listen to you.
No, but you get lucky sometimes. You go, wow, that was great.
Flacco not been sacked today, and he's able to get it over Rice.
Oh.
Timmons on the quick bring down.
Joe Flacco, I got a suggestion for you. Get your linemen together, take them out tomorrow night, whatever it takes, and say, out of way. If they do this every game, look how long he has to throw. And I know it's a 3-man rush, but look at everybody. Look at everybody working in unison. He steps up. He's got calm. He's got presence.
Well, he was sacked 40 times last year, which was second most in the league.
Which is a lot for a quarterback that's not running to make plays.
Only Cutler was decked more. 3rd down, and he's got another first down with Bolden.
Anquan Bolden, that's what this team, once they get Lee Evans into the groove, he goes downfield. This will be the underneath receiver like he was in Arizona. He is big and strong and can snatch the football right out of the air. Of course, we've already talked about the tight ends, but Joe Flacco finding the second receiver. We watched practice on Friday. It rained pretty hard the whole time. Threw the ball really well in the rain on Friday.
First down at the 48. And that's Ricky Williams bouncing off an early hit and taking it to the 25. It's Polamalu who's going to be flagged for that horse collar.
Boy, this is like breaking the will of the Steelers now. That's what they're doing. You always hear that. You got to finish teams off. Heard that a lot from the Ravens. Cam Cameron, we got to finish the game.
Personal foul, horse collar tackle, defense number 43. His penalty assessed, half minutes, no goal, automatic, first down.
Ricky Williams, straight ahead runner. Oh, Benny Grubbs, Matt Burke, good block. And Polamalu, oh yes, locked into the jersey. That is an easy call.
A 26-yard run by Williams. The penalty good for another 12 yards or so.
How about this drive?
Yeah. Started back at the 10 off the Reed interception. Look out. Flacco unloads it to Leach as Harrison was in his face right away.
Well, that's quick from the outside. It just happened so fast. Good redirect again by James Harrison. That was kind of neat. Him and Joe Flacco having a little laugh.
Raven man he was at one time Harrison was on the practice squad years ago here in Baltimore.
That's right.
It's kind of play though where your quarterback can get hurt.
Both of these teams cut James Harrison.
Rice back into the backfield. 2nd down and 10. And Rice drives it to about the 10. Picks up 3. Well, Rice is a yard shy of 100 now. And again, he's the only one in the last 50 games to rush for 100 against the Steeler defense. It was December 27th, 2009.
Well, there's a couple ways to beat this Steelers defense. You know, I see the Patriots, they spread them out and throw it. I saw the Atlanta Falcons throw it against them 42 times in the first half in preseason. But when you can mix it up, that's hard to do. And the Ravens, you saw it, you said it, Jim, they've had success running. They know how to block it because they play them twice a year.
On 3rd and 3, Flacco over the top of everyone. Polamalu was flying around back there in the end zone.
John Harbaugh wants his 3 this time.
Yeah, he'll bring out Sweezum or Cundiff.
Yeah, but Joe Flacco, the initial pass protection was good. Man, that's close. Bryant McKinney, man, that's how you get hurt. Offensive line, it's always somebody falling on you.
I was going to say Cundiff and Sweezum, they actually replaced one another back in 2005 at Dallas. Sweezum was cut, Cundiff was signed, Cundiff was cut, Sweezum was re-signed. Now they're both the kickers in this game today. That's good from 29. They got the 3 indeed. And that's a 4-score margin. 32-7, 3rd quarter.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Walmart. Save money, live better. Walmart. And by Autotrader.com. Now find brand spanking new cars and special offers on Autotrader.com.
Some shots there of Fort McHenry here in Baltimore. He was there during the bombardment of the fort. Francis Scott Key, who was a local lawyer and amateur poet. He was inspired to write the Star Spangled Banner, the lyrics to it. Eventually became the national anthem of the United States as it goes through the end zone, and the Steelers will start at the 20. Getting thumped here, 32-7. Not too late to play NFL.com Fantasy Football, the first and only one with in-game video, free and easy. Sign up today, NFL.com/fantasy. Inside of 3 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Started raining here in this quarter as Roethlisberger, maybe that was a little to do with the wet conditions. Looked like it slipped a bit wide of the mark with Brown. And these are the turnovers that led to scores. Suggs, strip sack, led to a Rice run for a touchdown. The Nata collision. One play later, Flacco to Dixon. And then Ed Reed with the pick. Led to the Cundiff field goal from 29. It's the 2nd most points now Baltimore has ever scored on Pittsburgh. Only topped by 34 in a game back in '97. 2nd down and 10. And another incompletion with heavy pressure on the quarterback. We've got an update. Let's send it to James Brown in New York.
Boomer, we do. Nobody's been talking about Chicago, Boomer.
But how about Brian Urlacher? Watch this. Matt Ryan's going to try to get away. He's going to put the ball on the ground. It's going to be floating around, and Brian Urlacher's going to pick it up. The Bears are all over the Atlanta Falcons, 30-6 in the 3rd period.
I bet you Phil Simms talked about Chicago positively. Back to Jim and Phil.
Wow, how about the Bears blowing out the Falcons like the Ravens are here over the Steelers. Ben 4 of his last 11 with 2 picks. He's got 3rd and 10. And it's ruled incomplete. On the ground, it was going to Wallace.
Well, they're going to allow Ben Roethlisberger to throw these types of throws in this game, it looks like. Nothing big down the middle. If you want to stand back there, hold it, throw to the sideline, throw those timing routes, then good luck taking it all the way down the field.
Sepulveda.
Oh, that was a hold.
And a lot of hang time here. It draws the fair catch signal. All the way down to the 17, 64 yards. Got another update. Let's go back to the studio in New York.
Hey, Jim, here's an understatement. Michael Vick has some weapons, Boomer.
It is the experience. How about this? Rolling to his left, off his back foot, Deshaun Jackson. I bet you Phil Simms wishes he could throw the ball like that.
Oh, Boomer shot. You're getting back at Phil, huh? All right, Philly at St. Louis. Let's take it back to Jim Nantz and Phil Simms.
Hold on, Phil's polishing his Super Bowl ring. Go ahead, Phil. Did you see that?
No, both of them.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I
both
saw
of them.
that. Yes, thanks, Boomer. Oh, I think James Brown put him up to it, though. You know, James kind of like a quiet assassin.
Yeah.
And he sits in the background and chuckles and laughs and gives you the ammo.
First down carry. And that's Rice. It'll put him over 100. Put him right at 100. Survivor premieres on Wednesday. 2 all-time favorite castaways return for a brand new season. Only CBS.
You know, in situations like this, the Ravens offense, you're just thinking about one thing right now. Just one first down. You get one first down, that it almost takes the game out of reach. In other words, the Steelers probably can't get 4 possessions unless you turn it over. You get one first down, that's another 2-3 minutes off the clock.
Back to Rice. And he's about a yard shy, well, half a yard shy of a first. Be 3rd and inches.
Again, Ray Rice, I don't know. Did he learn to run lower to the ground during the offseason? Because when you watch it in full speed, look at this. He gets down. It is hard. The Steelers, James Harrison, the Steelers are great form tacklers. They can't get below his shoulder pads to grab him. That's just one of the reasons that blocking and all his talent is making it work for the Ravens today.
Here's their chance at that first down with a minute to go in the quarter. Running for it. And Polamalu and others are there to plug the hole. And some late pushing. You can see this coming. They got Ike Taylor and Michael Orr over there. I don't know who they're going to flag.
Well,
there's other Polamalu's over here too. The Ravens are trying to hold back a whole bench, not allowing anyone to run onto the field.
The Ravens are the team. Boy, I'll tell you.
Tony Correnti.
He's had a rough day.
He has.
Got down. He got stepped on where I thought he could have really hurt his ankle. The Ravens can't retaliate. It was going to be against Ike Taylor. Of course, Michael Orr retaliated. They saw it too. They saw the little slap by Ike Taylor. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody gets thrown out.
At the conclusion of the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 24, headbutting the player, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Oh,
so they got it on Taylor.
Yeah, he didn't get the Ravens for retaliating. And I like that call a lot. When sometimes, Jim, somebody slaps you upside the head, it's hard to go, oh, I won't hit you back.
This isn't what they threw the flag for. Burke coming in as Polamalu.
Polamalu was pulling and doing it,
yep.
Yes.
It still isn't what the flag's for.
Yeah, Michael Orr was laying on the ground, and Ike Taylor walked by him and slapped him. Slapped his arm or his helmet, I'm not sure what. I saw it. Michael Orr jumped up and retaliated. And it's terrible to say this, but really, it is the Ravens' job now. You are winning. Don't fall into the trap. All they talked about, the Ravens, John Harbaugh, Cam Cameron said it to us. So many times in games, can you concentrate every play? You can't.
Taylor with or on the ground. There was a headbutt.
Yep.
First and 10. They look long and they go underneath. Instead, it's Ricky Williams. And wrapped up by James Ferrier, gain of 4. Close out the quarter. Here's how Correnti hit the ground. That's the end of the third quarter with the score Baltimore 32. Pittsburgh 7. Will return after this message and a word from your local station. And Taylor's back on the field as we start the fourth quarter. Just flagged for an unsportsmanlike conduct. And there was no flag for any of this. Just
Ray Rice, Troy Polamalu.
Now watch how this goes. And watch the officials trying to break it up. They're lucky they didn't get harmed. And look at them in the pile.
Tony Correnti had to get his finger bandaged, sore ankle, falling over.
Start the quarter with Flacco wanting to go deep, and he's sacked for the first time in the game. It's Woodley.
It's okay. That was a very good no throw by Joe Flacco. And this is how you play this in a situation like this. Of course, he wants to throw it, could throw it away. But the coverage down the field, they're trying to go deep. There's Lee Evans, and they have the tight end Pitta coming across. There you go, watch Pitta 88 go across. Here comes the safety. That's why Joe Flacco took the sack. Good job. Ryan Clark, haven't heard his name a lot today, but he's almost equal to Troy Polamalu back there.
Of course, it was Woodley who, during the offseason, made a comment about Flacco never winning a Super Bowl in this lifetime. We talked to him about that last night. He's just trying to defend. That's thrown out of bounds and complete. Talking to Woodley about those comments, said if Flacco was going to win a Super Bowl, that means they were better than us coming out of our division, and I'm not going to concede that.
Well, yeah, and he meant it like he didn't mean it to knock Joe Flacco, but it was sure taken that way. That's what anybody would say about somebody in the division. He can't win it because, like you said, Jim. But boy, everybody's run with it, and Joe Flacco has taken more heat for a quarterback that's played well in his first year, 3 years, than anybody.
He wins 4 road playoff games in 3 years. A starter from day one, taken to the postseason. A rough off-season for him. Proving critics wrong today as they drag down Antonio Brown at the 20. 51-yard punt.
It was such a tragic day. I think the whole world was in chaos at the time. And it just really made you think about the small things in life, the things that you take for granted, the things that you don't really think about until a tragic moment like this happens.
James Ferrier was a New York Jet back in 2001. Remember that Jet team speaking up and saying, we do not want to travel to Oakland for our game this weekend. And the league, of course, ended up canceling the games that following weekend.
You're right. It's Vinny Testaverde who really spoke up.
First down and 10 with 13:57 to play. Jim Nantz and Phil Simms here in Baltimore. Roethlisberger sidesteps the heat, launches for Ward, and it's incomplete. Webb was right there with Hines Ward, incomplete.
Pressure on Ben Roethlisberger. They get in there. McPhee, Ray Lewis makes him come out of the pocket. And look at the coverage down the field. Ladarius Webb played well last year, had a good preseason. And a tough job covering a rerouting of the slot receiver. That's about as tough a job as you can have in the National Football League.
Ben's missed on his last 5 passes. He came in here having won his last 7 starts against the Ravens. Got a connection this time. Out at the 33-yard line, it's Wallace. Picks up 12. Rain showers have passed through. 32-yard line, first down. It's Wallace. He's open. And out to the 48.
Well, Ben Roethlisberger hanging in the pocket. Like I said, they're going to give him these outside throws.
I am Badejo
in there, getting some reps because of a hot, humid day. Gets a big hit. And first and foremost, if you're the corners for the Ravens, don't give up the big play. Make them keep throwing them to the sideline like you are. One gets tipped, a sack, a lot of things can stop the drive.
To Wallace again. 3 straight plays. He breaks a tackle. Wallace, the speedster, unable to get into that full gear. He got away at first from Zbikowski. Takes it for 26 yards.
Boy, something we usually see from the Colts. They like to throw screens against blitzes. The defense is there. Look at the misses. That's why you just keep getting the football in the hands of guys like Mike Wallace, Antonio Brown, Emmanuel Sanders, because they can take it. They can take a 5-yard gain, score a touchdown with it.
8 catches for Wallace, ties a career high for the regular season. Including catches on the last 3 plays. Look out. Roethlisberger able to throw it in the area of Heath Miller. He got the old double whammy from Webb and Johnson. And it's ruled incomplete.
That is a sack.
Now they say sack.
Well, he's saying a sack because it was just a throw knowing that's the only way you could beat it. That could be the reason why, even though there was a receiver fairly close. Does that make sense? You're not allowed just to...
The quarterback was under the control of the defensive players and was ruled as a sack. After that, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Now this one, Harbaugh can't believe it. He's about as hot about this one as the one in the first quarter when McKinney was called for holding.
It might be because the throw, yes, he thought it was a fumble, yes. So Corey Redding thought maybe it was a fumble, and Legursky was going to pick it up and run with it. Tough call.
Gives him a first down at the 20. Again. Runs away from the pressure. He's picked off again. It's Ed Reed. Twisting around and brought down at the 21. His second interception of the half. A 5th turnover of the day committed by Pittsburgh.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by FedEx. We understand. You need reliable shipping solutions. FedEx. Sprint. All together now. And by Dodge. Visit your local Dodge dealer today.
The Steelers with the most giveaways in a game since 2006. Ed Reed with a couple of picks. He's moving in on Rod Woodson's record for most return yards, interception return yards in history. And Ben, who threw only 5 interceptions all last year in the regular season, 3 times today, he's been intercepted. Give to Rice. And the ball was on the ground, but they ruled him down. No gain.
Well, let's go back and look at Ben Roethlisberger. Good job. Nice pressure by the Ravens, making him leave the pocket. He's on the run. As he throws it back across, you have to let your arm go down. And as he does it, he actually gets it too low. So the football went up in the air farther than he wanted. And Ed Reed just, hey, he can track a football. Great at following the eyes, recognizing pass routes and getting where the football is.
2nd and 10 with Ricky Williams. We're about 3. Got a flag on the back end of that.
Holding offense number 77. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Called on Matt Burke, and Saturday the Home Depot SEC on CBS. Tennessee and Florida from the swamp. Always that early season key matchup. And it all begins with the Autotrader.com college football today. Tim Brando and Spencer Tillman. Next Saturday here on CBS. Talking about Ed Reed, had those 8 interceptions in 10 games last year after missing the first 6. That gives him now 10 out of his 10 in his last 11 games. Amazing. What a run he's had. 2nd and 20. Bolden sliding for it. They rule it incomplete.
Well, that was some window Joe Flacco's trying to throw it in. It's got to hit the ground, yes, because Anquan Bolden got up frustrated. He knew it. I'm just saying, if it was me, I don't even know if I would take a chance to make that type of throw in this situation.
Flacco with 224 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. 1 to Bolden, 1 to Rice, 1 to Dixon. He's calling timeout now. It'll be 3rd and 20 out of the break. We're inside 10 minutes to go before this one's official. Baltimore dominating day 1. Coming out of a Baltimore timeout with 9:39 to play. 3rd and 20 with the Ravens up 25. And Ricky Williams. That was worth another 30, 40 seconds. That's all they're looking for right now.
That's what you're doing. You're managing the clock. If Joe Flacco snaps the football with more than 2 seconds on the clock, you yell at him. And those are, boy, when I watch college football, it's unbelievable. They'll go up there and snap the ball with 10 seconds on the clock when they're trying to run it out.
James Harrison is on one knee. And that's why they're holding this up.
Well, we talked about back surgeries, fatigue. This is tough.
So an injury timeout here in Baltimore. Been on the Food Network since 2006. Custom-made cakes for all events. Located right here, and it's Cook stepping over to the side to take the snap from Morgan Cox. Up for it, Antonio Brown. Sidesteps first hit, not the second, and the third as McClain and others push him back. James Harrison. They looked at that knee a little bit, twisted it around, and then he walked off the field without any help.
Yeah, it looks like, just his body language says he might be 92. There he is. Watch his right knee. Oh, his own player. Lawrence Timmons flew into him.
Well, it's been such a rough day, you don't need it to go from bad to worse.
No, middle. I saw it.
And Harrison jumping up, wanting to walk around a little bit. Inside of 9 minutes to play. Almost intercepted. Off the bounce. Ian Badejo tried to pick it up and run for it. It was going to Heath Miller. Of course, this is where Ben Roethlisberger really began his career. Tommy Maddox had gotten hurt in the game here in Baltimore. He came in late second.
Traffic, Ladarius Webb. Good job. The throw is just a little bit behind. And Jim, one thing we've seen today, John Harbaugh said, I just hope to see some passes knocked down. Overall, the Raven defensive backs, they've been on the money and close to a lot of throws by Ben Roethlisberger.
And 2nd and 10. Works the middle. He's got Brown to the 47. Now the Steelers had those 3 turnovers in the third quarter. Punt, and then here's the third. Fumble, interception, interception. Now on to the fourth with a punt and another INT.
Ravens defense, a lot like the Steelers, except their defensive tackle, Haloti Ngata, he's a multitasker. He can stop the run and rush the passer both.
And that is Noeldi Moore. Now down at the 39.
Look who makes the tackle. Haloti Ngata rushing the passer, able to redirect and still make the tackle.
What a game he's had. Well, you know when we talked to Terrell Suggs, he specifically pointed out how Ngata had made him look good.
That's right, because you have to account for him. He gets in position, he's able to fire off the line of scrimmage and take two blockers with him and single up Terrell Suggs on the outside. Oh, the Ravens, even this lead, aggressive.
Blitzing on 2nd and 2. Trouble for Roethlisberger again. Dumps it off to Moore, who's taken off. Down to the 16. Ball's out. Ravens recover. Will they rule him down? It's McPhee with the recovery. Ray Lewis knocked it out. If they rule him down, it's 22 yards on the play.
Well, they might throw the red flag out there. The ball is definitely coming loose before he's down. You can see it. Clearly, you can see the Ravens recovered it. I'll be surprised if this is not Ravens football.
Ray Lewis with an interception, now a forced fumble.
Baltimore is challenging the ruling on the field that the runner was down by contact.
Pittsburgh's offense already left the field.
Yeah, there's no doubt that's going to be Ravens football.
Ray Lewis keeps hustling. And the redirecting, oh, that's a nice, he just goes, the right arm goes across to get the runner, and it's meant to try to knock the football out. How about that? What a technique. Probably done it about 5,000 times in his career. That is really well done. And I got to admit, getting ready for the game, I watched a lot of their preseason tapes and stuff. I wanted to see, well, let's see Ray Lewis, 16 years, linebacker. Does he still have it? And I came away with going, it's hard to believe it, but he still, with his knowledge and ability, can still make plays.
He debuted here on opening day, September 1st, 1996. As McPhee on the recovery.
Well, he's been all over the football today, too.
Just a rookie out of Mississippi State, drafted in the 5th round. But you go back, Ray Lewis, an original Raven.
Well, we all know about his leadership, toughness. Those are pretty good qualities to have on your football team, for sure.
This is 26th regular season matchup he's played in against Pittsburgh.
Man.
I think Chuck Pagano's got to be pretty happy, the new defensive coordinator, huh? He was the defensive back coach last year.
Yes, and you know, Jim, he took over. I said, how was the transition? He says, well, it was smooth. I already know the team, all the guys. And I think the thing he worried about, right, was he was pretty close to the players. Now when you're the coordinator, sometimes you got to back away a little. There's a fine line there, but I think he knows how to get that done. But the Ravens, the energy, I would say overall they're more aggressive on the defensive side this year than I saw last year. And you know why they can do it? They're happier about their defensive backs. First round draft pick, Jimmy Smith. You didn't see him.
After reviewing the play, the runner was not down by contact. There was a fumble, clearly recovered by a Baltimore player at the 14-yard line. It'll be first down for Baltimore at the 14. With the game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 7 minutes and 15 seconds. 7:15. Thank you.
That is the 6th turnover of the day committed by the Steelers. You know, this is a Ravens defense that a year ago had only 27 takeaways on the season, an alarming low number. It was like one of the worst years in franchise history.
And sacks.
Yeah,
you know, they
worst ever in sacks for them.
So there you go. Better defensive backs. The coverage puts more speed on the field, and they're getting a direct result of those two things right away in the first game of the year.
First down, it's Ricky Williams. That's only a yard. Pittsburgh 6 times, giving it away. The first one caused by Suggs led to a touchdown. Nada. One play later, they were to strike off of that. Lewis with a pick. Reed with the first of his 2. And then Lewis with the strip.
One thing that's in common about all these turnovers, what is it, Jim? It's their stars.
Yeah,
it's just
the big names making the plays
They
again.
made all the plays.
It's just the second time in regular and postseason action in the last 238 games that Pittsburgh's given it away 6 times. As Williams, good for another 3. You'll have a lot to talk about, no doubt. You know, when you get together with your pals on Inside the NFL, JB, Chris, Warren, Inside the NFL, back every Wednesday night on Showtime.
Yeah, it was great. It was great to get back. We had a show last week. Good to see Warren. Good to see JB. It's good to do the show again.
Interesting day, though, with the way that Baltimore has taken it out. All this frustration against this biggest rival, like Houston is doing down to Indianapolis. And
good point.
And that one, 34-7, after all the years of seeing the Colts giving them all kinds of fits.
Wow. 3rd down,
that's going to be near a first, probably a little bit short there for Ricky Williams into the arms of Ryan Clark.
What a clip. I don't mean to go back, but when we were doing the Showtime promo, you know, I didn't mention Chris Collinsworth.
Yeah, notice that.
You did? Okay, yeah. I'm really glad to see him, too.
I figured you were a better teammate than that.
Oh, shoot. Don't want everything to be all nice, Ned. You need some conflict in life, so.
Haven't seen enough on the field here today, huh?
Well, yeah, I have here, but by Wednesday, I'm ready for some more.
There you go. And Cook angles this one toward the sideline, and it's out of bounds. By the way, we've got a doubleheader coming your way next Sunday. And what a second game it'll be. Early, Jacksonville and the Jets for many of you, plus other regional action, and then the San Diego Chargers will take on New England. All starting with the NFL today, next Sunday, here on CBS. San Diego will be opening up against Minnesota here later today. Minnesota, by the way, inactive. I just see the inactives listed for the late games. Donovan McNabb is inactive. First down, Roethlisberger. Got time, and now they're crashing in on him. Going to run away from it. Got a flag down. This will probably be coming back as Miller jumps up, makes the catch, and he's wrestled down by Williams.
Holding, offense number 74. 10-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
Willie Colon, number 74, right tackle. Nice call. Definitely has the jersey of Terrell Suggs. When that jersey gets pulled, and of course that draws the attention of any official.
And the Steelers, who have to play 3 of their first 4 games on the road, will be home next week against Seattle. And man, how do you think Tomlin will have their attention this week?
Well, he will. They'll all listen this week. And you know that, and of course looking at the Baltimore Ravens, what did John Harbaugh say to us? Look, I don't know how this game's going to go, but we're going to get better as the year goes along. I think this game...
Well, a lot of new parts here. That whole offensive line had not played together. Plus, they got the young guys that they brought in on offense. Those tight ends. Those 3rd, 4th, and 5th receivers. And that is Redmond out to the 20. So he said, whatever you're going to see on Sunday, just remember, whatever you're going to see, said Harbaugh, it's going to get way better.
Yes. Well, I'll say this too. A couple things real quick. If I was the Steelers, I'd be worried about just making sure that my quarterback don't subject him to many more hits.
Might want to take him out about right now. Roethlisberger throws it out of bounds.
And the other thing about this game too, we heard from a few players, just shows you the atmosphere, the attitude that you can get your team into. it reflects on the field sometimes. Remember everybody talking about how John Harbaugh has lightened up on us. And John Harbaugh admitted, he goes, I've changed. The team is a true team now. We're not fragmented everywhere like we were when I came here. So he's a little more careful with his criticism and how he acts towards the players.
3rd and 18. Roethlisberger called this his #1 least favorite place to play. And you had that amplified today. Look out, ball is out again. And it looks like the Ravens have recovered. They have now matched turnovers and points. Stripped away by Suggs. Johnson was in on it also.
Just about every Steeler offensive guy is laying on the field. 3 linemen down. Roethlisberger slow and getting up.
Redding with the recovery.
Well, it takes a long time to get rid of this football. He's looking to throw it deep down the field. Suggs gets him from behind, strips the ball, and Jared Johnson's hitting him from the front.
Lucky Roethlisberger didn't get hurt right here.
That's really, truly how you blow out your elbow when you're going forward with the ball and somebody hits it.
There's what we talked about. Giveaways and points, 7 each. Hard to believe. 1st and goal from the 9. Flacco, they're going to throw. Got an open man, and it's caught for a touchdown. It's Bolden. There is a flag down. Flacco was walloped after the throw by Brett Kiesel.
10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Take the touchdown away.
Anquan Bolden has the strength of a running back. And I truly mean it. Top of your screen against number 24, the double arm extension. Ike Taylor's not even faking. And Joe Flacco, late in the game, it's over. This is what you worry about. Not a bad hit. I would run it 4 times.
There's one. Williams into Timmons. And that picks up 2. We got the women's final at the U.S. Open coming up after football today here on CBS. Of course, the men will be tomorrow. Djokovic and Nadal. 4 o'clock tomorrow on CBS. But today it'll be Serena against Samantha Stosur coming up after football. The women's championship out there at Flushing Meadow. 17th Grand Slam final for Serena. She's won 13 Grand Slam events.
Wow.
Stosur was in the French Open final a year ago. Her 2nd appearance in a final. There's her 2nd run. Back to Ricky Williams. No game.
Jim, let's go back. And we started today. All week since Friday, I've been harping. Oh, this Ravens offensive line. It's going to be rough. I don't know how they can do this, but what a job by them. They are the stars of the game. Yes, the turnovers have been terrific, but Bryant McKinney, what a job. Michael Orr, every one of them up front. Vontae Leach being a big part of it. This is really... Bryant McKinney was afraid that he would forget who was playing next to him and just kind of go, hey, left guard, what do I do here?
He did have some trouble with some names.
Yeah, he did.
Didn't he? Who wouldn't? He just got here a couple of weeks ago. Of course, McKinney getting all that pressure from those Miami guys, University of Miami guys on the team.
Yeah, that's a... We know it's
come in here and help. Come in here and help us.
They know what they needed. He's come, and
Ray Lewis and Ed Reed imploring him, get in here. Oh, we're going to reach the 2-minute warning with the Ravens at 32-7. Cundiff out for the first play after the 2-minute break.
This is sponsored by Subway Restaurants. Try the new Oven Crisp Chicken Sandwich today. And by Drive, starring Ryan Gosling. In theaters Friday. There are no clean getaways.
Jim Nance, and Bill Sims coming back now with 2 minutes to play and a field goal from 30 for Billy Cundiff. 1 of 1 today from 29. And make it 35. It's the most points now that Baltimore has ever scored on Pittsburgh. The Steelers are going to be suffering their first opening day loss since 2002 when they opened Gillette Stadium up in New England. They had the longest streak going in the league. They won 8 straight times on week 1. Last time again they lost was right here. It's when they opened up that new stadium up in New England. Cordell Stewart threw 3 picks, was sacked 5 times, and Brady threw 3 touchdowns. It was final 30-14. Patriots. This is also going to be, when you look at it, it's the 4th longest streak since 1970.
How about that, John Harbaugh? I saw him a few minutes ago. There he is with Ray Rice.
Well, there's a whole lot on this win. It's not just it's the way that you won against your biggest rival.
In all that was going on with your football team, the fact that you lost to them in the playoffs, and it has truly been rubbed in their face all off season. Not only but here, but opposing players and media, everything.
As you look at Harbaugh, his brother will be debuting here in just a few minutes against Seattle. His brother Jim, the new head coach of the 49ers.
Look at this.
Another thing he did right here. There's Cam Cameron with him.
And Cam Cameron, who both put them together. They were under a lot of scrutiny when the season was over.
I think some of Cam Cameron's play calling coming in from his stepdad, who was on the sideline at practice this week, Tom Harp. Great guy, the former head coach at, Duke, Indiana State, and Cornell.
What did he, honestly, I talked to him on the sideline with you, and he just said, games changed quite a bit.
That's secret weapon. He just beat his age again on the golf course. Now
there you go.
Whispering Pines, little 82. On first down, they still got Ben in there, and there's a catch by Ward at the 38. It's going to be the largest margin of defeat for Tomlin. It's going to be his first opening day loss, as we talked about. They lost the game at New England. We were there back in the 07 season, 34-13. Another grab by Ward. What a day for the Harbaugh family, though. The mom and dad are out west now. They went to go see Jim. They've seen John in his ways and his act. We were teasing, ripping him up pretty good about that.
Yeah, we did. I said, they've already abandoned you, and it's all about Jim now. So he had a good laugh at that. But what a terrific day. The 2 brothers, amazing, head coaches in the NFL.
That is Miller. Of course, Jim was a quarterback here for the Ravens. He was also the last quarterback to start a game for the Colts.
Yep.
Before Peyton Manning came along till today.
But the Steelers, you look at this game real quick. You go back, it's just 1 loss. It was on the road against your biggest rival, and you regroup and go back and do what you did last year and what you've shown all preseason. A well-rounded team that can beat you in many ways.
It's Miller shoved out of bounds with 22 seconds to go, gain of 12.
And Jim, when you get really good teams together like this, the sense of urgency, and it was just more on the side of the Ravens today. The sense of urgency, we've got to get it done, and you could see it right from the start. The first play, Ray Rice, off left tackle over their new addition, Bryant McKinnie. That just set the tone for the whole day.
22 seconds. In zone bound and out of bounds. These 2 will play again on November the 6th in Pittsburgh. And who knows, will there be a 3rd time this year? You talk to Terrell Suggs, he says, we're going to see him 3 times.
They just take it for granted they're going to play each other 3 times a year. That's what's hilarious.
So we'll see him 2 more times. Suggs has gotten into the movie-making business. Wrote a little screenplay for a movie called The Coalition. Done the whole thing down at Cannes and everything else. Made a few plays here today as well. And on second down, Roethlisberger going to the end zone again, and that's out of bounds to Brown with 9 seconds. They really set a pace, didn't they, though? Very first play from scrimmage. Rice rumbling 36 yards behind a McKinney block. And it took them just 3 total plays to get into the end zone. Quick striking. Something they weren't really able to do a whole lot last year. Score in a hurry. Who knows? They've got 7 takeaways on the day. Maybe they even got one more in them with 9 seconds to play. Incomplete. One more snap to go. Week 1 and the road to Indianapolis, February 5th, all commencing here. Maybe this will be a Ravens year. Maybe the Steelers, long week it's going to be, but let's see what happens. One more snap. Game's going to end with Roethlisberger on the ground. It's Suggs yet again. Largest ever winning margin by the Ravens over the Steelers. 35-7 is the final. Jim Nantz and Phil Simms saying so long from Baltimore. James Brown in the studio in New York when we continue on CBS.